Hello, very good morning to all. Myself, Dr. Vartya Jagat, working as an associate professor in Vijnana Bharat Institute of Technology. In today's session, we are going to simulate the single phase half wave rectifier. So let me share you that document so that you will have some idea what is there in the circuit and what are the operation of it. Now you can see here we are going to simulate the single phase half wave phase control rectifier with the different types of load. Means load can be resistive load can be resistive and inductive load. It can be RLE load also, but we are considering only two loads here. So while discussing single phase full wave rectifier, we will see the effect of RLE load also. Now, in order to simulate this single phase half wave rectifier, we are using MATLAB Simulink. Right. Now, in order to uh, simulate on your PC, these are the system configurations you can see here. Okay. Then, in order to have some more idea about the single phase half wave rectifier, you please refer to any standard textbook like Ned Bohn, MH Rasid, Power Electronics by MD Singh. So you please go through those textbooks so that you will have some idea. And this is the equivalent circuit configuration for the single phase half wave converter, where you can see the single phase AC source and which is connected to load to the power electronic converter. So now this is what our power electronic converter. This power electronic converter consists of only um, it consists of only one thyristor which will perform the AC to DC conversion. So the available AC has to be converted into required DC with the help of a single thyristor here. Okay, so it is called, now you can say it is controlling only positive half cycle because it is inserted in the positive side. So if you insert this SCR in the negative side, you will get control over the negative half cycle. Right. So now this load can be a resistive load can be RL load. Now, in order to simulate this rectifier in the MATLAB Simulink, this is the procedure you need to follow. First, you have to open the MATLAB, then you click on the Simulink model. Then you go for the library browser where you can search for the required elements and keep on adding these elements to the new model, make the connections as per the circuit diagram. And you know that to measure the voltage, we need to connect a voltage measurement block across the uh, element. Similarly, if you want to measure the current, you need to insert the current measurement block in series with the component, like, and you can see the voltage and current in the scope. So you need to connect a scope here. The input to the scope is from the output voltage measurement block output and current measurement block output terminal should be connected to the input of the scope, right? So now in order to see whether you are getting the correct values with the help of the simulation or not, you have to see that you need to go for theoretical calculation, and this theoretical calculation and the obtained simulation calculator should match. Then only you can judge that whatever you are doing is correct. Now, in order to do the theoretical calculation, here you can see the tabular column. Now, at different values of firing angle, you can calculate the RMS output voltage theoretically, and just mention the simulated values here in this tabular column, so that there should be there is almost 2 to 5 volts difference. Right. Now here Vm is the maximum voltage. You can see Vmax equal to, you can write it as root 2 times V supply. As you know, we supply voltage we have considered as 230 volts. So if it is 230, then Vm should be root 2 into 230. Then Vrms you can write it as root 2 into 230 divided by 2 root pi minus alpha plus 1 by 2 sine alpha. So here this pi is different from this pi, right? This pi is 3.14, but here it is in degrees. So it will be 180, pi means 180 degrees, minus alpha. Alpha can be 0, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 like this. So like that for different values of firing angle, alpha you can find out the RMS output voltage. And this theoretical value should match with the theoretical value, simulated values. Now similarly, if you go for the RL load, where R equal 2 ohm, L equal 2 millihenry, for this R and L, we obtained in the simulation that beta is about 195 degrees. So now this is RMS output voltage in case of the RL load. So now at different values of alpha, beta is 195 degrees. You just substitute all those things here. You can find out the RMS output voltage theoretically for RL load also. And these theoretical values, whatever you are obtained here, that should match with your simulated values. So let us have some look over the expected waveforms. You can see the expected waveform here. And this is for, first one is for R load and second one is for RL load. You can see these waveform you can see in the scope, right? So the scope, first input is the input voltage. The second input to the scope is firing pulse. Third input is output voltage and output current. And fourth one is the thyristor voltage. Now you can see here, if you want to control and convert the positive half cycle, I can apply the firing angle alpha to the SCR from 0 to pi. So let us, I have applied firing angles at omega t equal to alpha. Alpha is the firing angle. It can be 0, it can be 90, 30, 180 also, which is varying from 0 to 180 degrees. Right? Because from 0 to 180 degrees, thyristor T, which is associated with the positive half cycle, it is in forward bias condition. So now, if I apply the firing pulse to the SCR at omega t equal to alpha, so from alpha onward, the output voltage has to follow the input voltage. You can see the output voltage variation like this. And since the load is resistive load, and the current and the voltage, they should be in phase for resistive load. So it is in phase with the output voltage. So only magnitude differs. Output voltage, output current, I can write it as output voltage divided by resistance. So only the magnitude differs, but both voltage and current, they are in phase. And for omega t equal to alpha onwards, thyristor, it is in conduction state. So the voltage across thyristor is 1 to 2 volts practically. Ideally, you should get 0. And during alpha, you can see during alpha, it is blocking a forward voltage because we are not applying triggering pulse to the SCR. Those SCR will be in off state, and it has to block the forward voltage. And if you see at omega t equal to pi, the SCR current flowing to the SCR, which is same as the load current, is becoming 0 at omega t equal to pi, right? Which means the net current flowing to the SCR equal to 0 means the SCR goes to off at this particular point. And from pi to 2 pi, you can see the input voltage, the reverse voltage you can see here. And during this negative half cycle, the SCR, it is in reverse bias condition, so it will be in off condition. And SCR off means you can see the voltage across SCR is reverse voltage across it, so you will get a complete negative voltage across thyristor. And since the SCR is in off condition, which is connected in series with the load, and there is no output current during this negative half cycle. If there is no output current, you won't get output voltage. So you can see the output current as well as output voltage during negative half cycle equal 0. And the cycle goes on repeating. Now, if you see the RL load, you can see the RL load waveforms. This is the first input to the scope is input voltage. Second one is the gate pulse. Third one is the output voltage, output current. Fourth one is the thyristor voltage. Now, there is slight difference between this R load and RL load. Now, you just focus on the current and the voltage waveform. Okay. Now, if you see this one, at omega t equal to alpha, you are given triggering pulse to the SCR. So from this point on, the output voltage following the input voltage, no doubt it is following. So we don't know up to what extent it will follow the input voltage. That depends upon the load current, which is flowing to the load, and which is same as the thyristor current. Now you can say in case of RL load, resistive and inductive load, the current has to lag the voltage by some angle. So it is lagging the voltage by some angle and charging, thereafter it will discharge. And this discharging instance depends upon the value of inductor. If you increase the value of inductor to high, then discharging will take place at this particular point, or at this particular point, or at this particular point. That depends upon the value of inductor which you are using there. So for this 2 ohm and 2 millihenry, the current is discharging at this particular point. That means the current is extinguished as 0 at this particular point. So the output voltage following the input voltage up to this beta, this is called the extinction angle beta. And due to this inductor, you are getting negative voltage across the load. and due to presence of this negative voltage, the average output voltage is getting reduced. That is the main drawback of with the RL load. Now you can see from alpha to beta, the thyristor is in conduction state. So this is the conduction angle. You can see gamma is the conduction angle, right? And uh, it is in conduction state means the voltage across thyristor will be 1 to 2 volts practically. Ideally should be 0. And during alpha, the thyristor is blocking a forward voltage because it is in off condition. And from beta onwards, omega t equal beta onwards, thyristor will be in reverse bias condition. So thyristor is subjected to reverse voltage like this. Okay. So now from beta onwards, the output current equals 0. So there is no output voltage. So you will get output voltage and output current is equal to 0. And the cycle is keep on repeating. Now you can see that here the beta is equal to the summation of alpha plus gamma. Right, and it is beta is constant if a value of inductor is constant. Right, let us see all these waveforms in the scope by simulating the single phase half wave rectifier. So in order to simulate the half wave rectifier, you just see the procedure here. So first we need to open the MATLAB. Now I am opening the MATLAB, you can see here, which I am going to share. Okay. So this is the MATLAB. Now I want to go for Simulink model, right? If I click on this new tab, I will see the Simulink model here. You just click on the Simulink model, then I can able to find the new untitled page here, right? So I'm going to share that untitled page. Okay. So this is what our untitled page here you can find. So where you can build your circuit. So in order to build the circuit, we should just go to the procedure here. So now we have to go to the library browser, then we have to search for the required element. Okay, so we have to go for the library browser, then we have to go for search for the required element. You can here you can find the library browser. You just click on this one so that you can able to see this library browser. Okay, I'm going to share that one. Okay, where is the library browser? Here you can see. Okay, now you keep on adding, you just keep on add the required element to the untitled page. Just first we need a voltage source, right? We just type a voltage source here. You will find the AC voltage source here. You just right click on this one. You can add the block to the untitled page. Then we need a pulse generator. Here you can see the pulse generator. Okay, then we require thyristor. Okay, then we require load series RLC branch. Okay, so I can find the series RLC branch here. Then we need a voltage measurement to measure the voltage measurement block to measure the voltage. Similarly, I need current measurement block to measure the current. Okay, this to see the output voltage, output current responses. I need scope also. So let us consider connect a scope. Then I need to have Power BI also in order to run the complete model. So now you can go to the untitled page where we have added the components, right? Here you can see the Power BI, scope, current measurement block, voltage measurement block, load, thyristor, pulse generator, and AC. So if you double click on this AC source, you can set the peak voltage of 230 volts and Indian standard frequency is 50 Hz. Double click is right. Now we need to build the circuit. So anode is connected to phase, right? And cathode should be connected to load. Load is now if you double click on this, series RLC branch, then you can see the parameter. If you click on this branch type, you can type, you can make it as R load, RL load, RC, RL, everything you can see. So our load is R load. So let us consider the resistance as 2 ohm. Okay. Then in order to see the current flowing through this load as well as the thyristor. Let us connect a current measurement block like this, and negative is connected to the other terminal of this resistance is connected to the neutral point. Okay, then to measure the voltage across the load, we need to connect a voltage measurement block across the load like this. Okay, now we have seen in the expected waveforms that there are 4 inputs to the scope. So let us consider the 4 inputs. So if we double click on the scope, let me share you this one also. Okay, so you will find this one here. You can just click on this setting, so you can see the number of axes. So we require 4 axes, right? Then you just check this one. Okay, then you can increase the line width. Okay, let us increase the line width to 3. Okay, now I will go to the untitled page again. I can see the untitled page here. Now the first input to the scope is the input voltage. To see the input waveform, you just connect a voltage measurement block across the input source, and the output of this voltage measurement block is connected to the scope first terminal, and second one is the pulse. Now you can connect the pulse like this. The pulse is given to the gate terminal of the SCR. Now third terminal is what is called a mux. Okay, so the third terminal, just connect a mux here. The third terminal to the scope is the input output voltage and output current. So you can measure this from the mux. And the fourth one is the voltage across thyristor. So let us connect a voltage measurement block across the anode and cathode terminal of the thyristor like this, and the output is connected to the scope. Now this circuit is completed. Now just okay, circuit is completed. Now if you see, this pulse generator plays a major role here. Now in order to adjust this pulse at the required time instant, let us consider, see here. Okay, suppose I want to fire the SCR. This is what AC input voltage, right? And the thyristor is in forward bias condition during this positive half cycle only. I can fire here, I can fire here, I can fire here, and that firing instant should be given from this pulse generator. Now that will play a major role here. Now in order to understand that one, now let us look into this one. So it is one cycle. So to complete one cycle, this is what our one cycle. For 50 Hz supply, okay, 1 by 50 Hz means it will take 20 milliseconds. It will take 20 milliseconds. So in terms of degree, if you want to mention, because alpha should be measured in degree, so it is 0 degrees, it is 180 degree, and this is what 360 degrees. So alpha can be from 0 to 180 degrees only, right? So that means I can write to complete 360 degrees, it is taking 20 milliseconds. So instead of 20 milliseconds, I can write it as 0.02 second. Let us, I want to operate the firing angle alpha at this particular point, that is 30 degrees. So for 30 degrees, I can write 0.02 into 30 degrees divided by 360 degrees. Okay, so that means if I want to trigger at alpha equal to 60 degrees, you just replace this 30 with 60. Like that, you can vary the firing angle given to the SCR with the help of this pulse generator. If I click on this pulse generator, you will open. You can get this one. So here you can see the amplitude as 1. Pulse period in second means it is taking in second. So to complete one cycle, it is taking 20 milliseconds. So I can write 0.02. Forget about this pulse width. The phase delay. This is a firing angle alpha, right? So now to fire at 30 degrees, I can write it as 0.02 into 30 divided by 360 degrees. So which means it will fire at 30 degrees. It will fire at 30 degrees. Okay, now let me, if I want to run this model for 3 cycles, 3 cycle means 1 cycle is taken 20 millisecond, 3 cycles 20 into 3, it will be 60 millisecond. So I want to run for 60 milliseconds, so 0.02, 0.06. So if I click on this run, then I can run this model, I can see the scope. Okay, let me show you all these results in the scope which I have shown you in the Word document, which is the expected waveform. Now we have to get these simulated waveforms same as the expected waveforms, right? So if I double click on the scope, I will get this one. Now I am going to share you the scope here. Now you can see the scope here. First one is the input voltage, right? Second is the pulse given to the SCR. Third one is the output voltage and output current, and fourth one is the voltage of thyristor. Now you can see this is taking 3 cycles. Now you can see this is what one cycle, this is the second cycle, this is the third cycle, right? So now we are given the firing pulse to the SCR at alpha equal 30 degrees here. So even if you measure at this particular point, you will get alpha equal 30. This will be 30 degrees now. So I told you from alpha equal 30 onward, the SCR it is in conduction state. So the output voltage should follow the input voltage from alpha, omega t equal to alpha. So the output voltage same as the input voltage, you can see. And since the load is resistive load, the current and the voltage they should be in phase. You can see the current waveforms which in phase with the output voltage waveform, right? And from alpha equal to omega t equal to alpha to pi, the SCR it is in conduction state. So the voltage across the SCR should be 1 to 2 volts practically. It should be 0 theoretically, ideally. And you can see this voltage capacitor, which is almost 0. And during alpha, the SCR it is in forward bias condition. It is blocking only forward voltage because the SCR remains in off condition. So it has to block the forward voltage. And you can see at this particular point at omega t equal to pi, the current flowing to the SCR is becoming 0, which is connected in series to the load. So load current equals 0, and we won't get load voltage because load current equals 0 here. And after omega t equal to pi, you are getting a negative half cycle. You can see here, this is what is a negative half cycle. Now, during negative half cycle, the thyristor will be in reverse bias condition and it will be in off state. So you can, the thyristor is subjected to reverse voltage. So you will get a reverse voltage across thyristor, right? And the cycle is keep on repeating. Yes. Right. This is about the single phase half wave rectifier with resistive load at alpha equal 30 degrees. Let us go for alpha equal 60 degrees. Let us go for alpha equal 60 degrees. Now, if you want to simulate this inverter at alpha equal to 30 degrees, you just replace this 30 with 60. Okay, again run the model. You can see the output waveforms like this. Okay, now I am going to share you this scope so that you can able to see. So now you can see this is what alpha equals 60. Okay, even if you want to measure, it will lie at this particular point where the alpha should be 60 degrees, because here you may see 90 degrees, here you may see 180 degrees. So here it will be 60 degrees, right? And from alpha equals 60 degrees onward, the output voltage suddenly increases to maximum value, and it is following the input voltage like this. Okay, and the load is resistive load, the current and the voltage they should be in phase. So you can see the output current waveform. Only magnitude will differ, but the current wave shape is same as the output voltage wave shape, right? Because output current, I can write it as output voltage divided by resistance. And from omega t equal to alpha, this is what alpha, right? From omega t equal to alpha onward, the thyristor is in conduction state, and it will be in conduction state up to omega t equal to pi. So you will get 1 to 2 volts. Practically, ideally it should be 0. And during alpha, the thyristor is in off condition, so you will get positive voltage across thyristor. It is blocking for positive voltage. And at omega t equal to pi, you can see the thyristor current is becoming 0 because load and thyristor, they are connected in series. So the thyristor current becomes 0. So thyristor will be in off state at omega t equal to pi. And after omega t equal to pi to 2 pi, you can see that you are getting reverse voltage across thyristor. So thyristor will be in off state and it is blocking reverse voltage across it. So similarly, you can see any value of firing angle, and you can control and convert the complete positive half cycle to a DC voltage, right? So this is about R load. Then I will go for RL load. Now just in order to see for RL load, you just replace the load with here branch type with RL, and now L is 2 millihenry, R is 2 ohm. Just click OK. Now adjust the firing angle alpha to some 30 degrees first. We'll see first 30 degree, then we will go for 60 degree. Right. If I run this model, I can able to see the output, the scope like this. Right. So here you can see the first one is the input voltage, which is vary with respect to sine omega t. And I have taken for 3 cycles. You can see this is one cycle, and this side second cycle and third cycle. Right. And if you see, this is what our alpha equal 30 degrees here. 30 degrees, and from 30 degrees onward, the output voltage is following the input voltage. So you can see the yellow color waveform. It's following the input voltage, and it is falling beyond 180 degrees also. Now to see that, since the load is resistive and inductive load, the current has to, output current has to lag the output voltage by some angle. So you can see there is a lag in the current. It is charging. Thereafter, it will discharge. And this discharging depends upon the value of inductor. If you keep more value of inductor in the load, the discharging may take place here, the discharging may take place here, right? So now for 2 millihenry, it is discharging here. So this is what the extinction angle. It is measured from alpha to beta. Sorry, 0 to beta. Now this is alpha. Now conduction angle means I can say, so output voltage following the input voltage up to this point, up to beta. So you can see there is a negative peak here. Due to presence of this negative peak, the average voltage, output voltage across the load is getting reduced. This is the main drawback in case of RL load without any freewheeling diode. That's why we are going for freewheeling diode. We'll show you the effect of freewheeling diode also in the next session. Now from alpha to beta, the thyristor is in conduction state, so the voltage across thyristor will be 0 ideally. Practically it should be 1 to 2 volts. And during the alpha, you can see the voltage thyristor is blocking the forward voltage. And after beta to 2 pi, you are getting reverse voltage across thyristor. So thyristor has to block this reverse voltage. So this is about RL load. Now at alpha equal 30 degrees. Now you can also see the waveform at alpha equal to 90 degrees, so 60 degrees. So in order to get the waveform at alpha equal to 60 degrees, you just replace the 30 in the pulse generator with 60 degrees. So you just double click on this pulse generator. Now you replace the 30 with 60. And again run the model. You can see the waveforms like this. Now you can see here, right? Now you can see here. Okay, now this is what the input voltage, and this is the firing pulse given to a thyristor T. And if you project on the input side, it will lie at alpha omega t equals 60, which is alpha. Alpha equals 60 degrees now. Right, and the output voltage following the input voltage, it will suddenly goes to the maximum value. Thereafter, it is following the input voltage. And we don't know up to what extent it will follow the input voltage. That depends upon the load current which is flowing to the load. And this load current depends upon the load parameters like resistance and inductance. And now the current is like the voltage by some angle, and it is the current charging, thereafter it will discharge. So this is what the extinction angle, at which the current is extinguished to 0. So it is measured from the reference point to the point at which the current is becoming 0, beta. Now this interval is called gamma, during which the thyristor is in conduction state. So you can see during gamma interval, the thyristor voltage will be 1 to 2 volts practically. Here we are getting 0, the ideal device, right? And during alpha, the thyristor is blocking reverse forward voltage across it, you can see. And from beta onwards, the voltage across thyristor is becoming reverse. So thyristor will be in off condition. And now it has to block the reverse voltage across it. And you can see the thyristor will be in off condition, which is connected in series with the load. You won't get any current. If there is no current, there is no output voltage also. Right? You can see 0 output current and 0 output voltage. And the cyclists keep on repeating. Right? So this is what about the single phase half wave rectifier with R and RL load. Similarly, you can see for 90 degrees also. So to go for 90 degrees, you just double click on the pulse generator. So replace the 30 with 90. You can see, just click on the run button. And if you click on the scope, you can able to see this one, right? So here you can see it will lie exactly at V max, which is equal to 90 degrees, because here it will be 0, 90 degrees, and here it is 180 degrees, right? So from 90 degrees onward, the output voltage following the input voltage, and you are getting, let me replace this one, minus 300 to plus 300, sorry, 200. Okay. Now you can see during omega t equal to alpha, which is 90 degrees, to beta, the thyristor is in conduction state. So the voltage across thyristor will be approximately 0. And during alpha, the thyristor is blocking the forward voltage, positive voltage. And from beta to 2 pi, it is blocking reverse voltage. You can see the current and everything you can see. Right. So this is what about the simulation of half wave rectifier with the R and RL load. Right. Thank you.